myth, I call it the abortion myth, is that the catalyst for the rise of the religious right was the Roe v. Wade decision of January 1973. It has become clear to me in the course of doing research on this over the last decade that that had nothing whatsoever to do with the rise of the religious right, and my account has been corroborated by a number of people, including those who were in at the formation of this movement. It turns out that it was a court decision that's really responsible for it, at least indirectly and in many ways directly. It was a court decision at the district court level, District of Columbia, in June of 1971 in a case called Green v. Connelly. The background for Green v. Connelly was that by 1970, the federal government was trying to find ways to enforce the provisions of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 that Lyndon Johnson had pushed through Congress, which forbade racial segregation and racial discrimination. The IRS, subsequent to that, issued an opinion that said any organization that engages in racial segregation or racial discrimination is not by definition a charitable organization. Therefore, it has no claims on tax-exempt status. Green v. Connelly, June 30th, 1971, upheld the IRS in that decision. And almost immediately then the IRS began trying to enforce that by going after many of these so-called segregation academies in the South, not all in the South, but many of them in the South. And it also targeted such schools as Bob Jones University in Greenville, South Carolina, that until 1971 did not admit African Americans to the student body, and until 1975, out of fears of racial miscegenation or racial mixing, did not admit unmarried African Americans to the student body. Once the IRS went after places like Bob Jones University and tried to enforce those provisions, rescinding their tax-exempt status, that is what galvanizes a group of Protestant ministers at the behest of Paul Weyrich and other conservative activists to come together and form a political movement that we know as the religious right. So the genesis of the religious right was not Roe v. Wade, not by any stretch of the imagination. I can't emphasize that strongly enough. It was, in fact, the Bob Jones case and the IRS going after these segregation institutions. So it's a movement that begins in the late 1970s, not in direct response to Roe v. Wade in 1973.